everybody, my name is Jenna and Stranger Things 3 dropped on the 4th of July and I watched all 8 episodes, finished at 4:30 in the morning.
I am not even a little bit okay.
And it was a time. It was a time. It was a thing that I did. It was a crazy season. It was a big, dark, intense, emotional, heartbreaking season and I loved every second of it and I wanted to share that with you guys.
It literally feels like I've been waiting for this moment all of my life. I have a lot of feelings. How can anyone watch episode 5 and not immediately have to watch episode 6? Stranger Things, why? Stop making me cry. I just started the last episode. I got 2 things to say.
So what I did was I filmed my reactions to every episode and I'm gonna share that with you guys now. The reason the voice is happening is because I've watched some of the footage and I'm not actually sure I want it to be on YouTube, but here we go. So I will tell you right off the bat, this video is going to contain massive, huge, unbelievably big spoilers for Stranger Things Season 3. Really, I am talking! It's going to contain very large spoilers for Season 3. I'm literally going to be talking about everything that happened this season. So if you haven't yet had a chance to finish Season 3, don't watch this video. Please go and watch the season, then come back and watch this because you'll understand when you see it, but you don't want to get spoiled for this season. You just don't. So the first thing that I did on the 4th of July was, actually the first thing I did on the 4th of July was I took a couple of Instagram photos to post for the Stranger Things 3 day. That was fun. But then I decided I would film a theories video and that's what I did.
Theories for season 3. Okay, so obviously season 3 is set in the summer of 1985, which I love. And I think it's gonna have a lot to do with all of the big blockbustery things that came out then, because I know Back to the Future came out around that time. And I know that these kids, they are such nerds. They are going to love Back to the Future. I love Back to the Future. I think it's brilliant. So they're definitely gonna love it. I'm just really excited. I think the first couple of episodes, because I've been rewatching seasons 1 and 2 and I've sort of figured this out. The first couple of episodes are always sort of easing you back into everything and it's like kind of a slower start usually. And I think the same thing's gonna happen here. So we're gonna be reintroduced to these kids who aren't kids anymore. Literally, have you seen them? They are not kids anymore. So we're gonna get sort of reintroduced to them and we're gonna get reintroduced to this world, but we're also gonna see how they've developed in the year and no, it wouldn't have been a year. It would have been like 6 months or something since the last time that we saw them. So we're gonna get to see how everyone is sort of coping. We're gonna get to see how 11 is doing and we're gonna get to see her relationships with everybody. That's one thing that I'm really looking forward to this season. I'm really looking forward to 11 being able to go out into the world and to see things and to experience them. I'm looking forward to seeing her relationship with Max. I think it's really important that she gets a girlfriend just because she just needs a friend who's a girl, guys. That's all she needs. So I think this season is gonna be, well, from what all the cast have said, they've all said that it's much bigger and much scarier. So I'm thinking, well, we've got 8 episodes. I'm so looking forward to seeing Erica. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I'm all over the place because I'm just so gosh darn excited for it. So the first episode is Susie, Do You Copy? And I really do think this is just going to be reintroducing us to all the characters, very briefly introducing us to like the main overarching plot, but I think that's really going to start to get bigger in the second episode, the Mole Rats. Well, the case of the missing lifeguard, I'm pretty sure that Billy is going to get, what's the word, possessed, I guess? So he's going to be the new host for the Mind Flayer, which freaks me out to like no tomorrow, the fact that they've potentially, you know, trapped the Mind Flayer out there with them. I'm like, I don't understand, but I'm so excited. So I think Billy is gonna become the new host for the Mind Flayer. And so in episode 3, where it says the case of the missing lifeguard, I think at the end of episode 2, he is going to kidnap Heather, who is the other lifeguard that he works with. And I think she's gonna be some sort of sacrifice to the Mind Flayer. I'm not really sure how that all works, but either way, he's gonna be super evil. I think we're gonna see lots of Malevolent moments, especially earlier on in the season, but I think we're gonna see a lot of them with like Hopper as being really like protective dad, and I cannot wait to see protective dad Hopper out in full force in this season. It's gonna be so much fun. I'm really thinking that we will actually see some Joppa this season. I have been like freeze framing all the trailers and we have definitely seen a glimpse of Joe Snopper holding hands and running through the carnival, which I'm just like, yes! I need that. I need this to happen. But I do think that by the end of this season, we're going to have another big death like we did in season 1. Technically, we all thought 11 had died at the end of season 1, which was really upsetting. So sadness, but obviously she didn't. But I think obviously in season 2, we had Bob's death. And I think in season 3, we are likely to have a death of one of our main characters. And I was thinking about who it might be. I don't think it's going to be any of the 6 kids because that would be awful. I don't think it's going to be someone like Erica or Jonathan or Nancy. I think Billy, especially if Billy gets possessed by the mind flay, he's got a really good chance of dying this season. Joyce, I don't think they're going to kill off Joyce because then Jonathan and Will won't have a mum and that'd be really sad. I think they're going to kill Hopper by the end of the season and then Joyce will like adopt 11. I really don't want that to happen either because number 1, I love Hopper with all my heart, but number 2, I just think it'd be really mean to 11 to like give her this father and then to rip him away. I don't know if the writers are going to be that cruel. So that just kind of leaves like Steve. Steve Harrington. Once again, I don't think Steve's gonna die because I think everyone would riot if he died because he's mum Steve. Like, he can't die. He has 6 children to look after. Yeah, I don't think I really don't know. I really do think we're gonna end up with a big death this season, but I just don't know. I don't know. I'm stressed. I am actually really looking forward to seeing, obviously the lab shut down at the end of last season, but I think from what I've seen of the trailers, we see like these guys with these like helmets or something on and this energy stuff. I think that's probably going to be in the new lab, or maybe that's where the Starcourt Mall has been made. Maybe it's been made on top of the lab, which is just such a bad idea. Like, have you all seen Poltergeist? That's a really bad idea. We meet Robin as well. She's a new character. We're going to meet Robin. I'm really looking forward to meeting her because I don't really know a lot about her. There's like a couple other new guys. There's a guy that Hopper seems to be fighting a lot. The theory is he's Russian, which is really exciting because there's been a lot of stuff going down in Hawkins, and obviously this is at the time of the Cold War, so maybe the Russians are sort of coming in to spy on everyone and everything and what's happening, which would be really cool to see. And then obviously we've got the guy who plays Wesley from Princess Bride. He is the new mayor. I can't say that word in either American or Australian. I just can't say it. Anyway, he's in charge and apparently he cares more about his image than about the people. So that's probably why he's putting on this carnival. I don't know. All I know is it's definitely going to be set over the 4th of July weekend, I assume. Well, we know that. And I am just freaking out.
So after the theories video dropped, I had a couple more things to do, and then I just kept freaking out throughout the day. I just kept freaking out because I was like, Stranger Things 3 is dropping in T-minus this many hours. Until it got to like 4:15, 4:20, 4:25, and I was sitting in my lounge room and I was freaking out, but I was ready to go.
Guys, you could say I'm a little excited. You could say that. Don't know why you would. Honestly, it's not like I've been counting down all day or anything, so... I'm so excited. The season better be good because I have hyped this season up to like here. I don't know, my Netflix is taking forever. It's there, guys. I'm so excited. I watched the first episode and within like the first 3 minutes, one of my predictions came true. The Russians have finally come into play here. They're trying to open their own gate to get whatever's in the Upside Down out to work for them. So Cold War for the win, apparently. What else happened that I'm just dying about? Chopper. We had a Chopper scene, guys. And it was so cute. But Joyce is clearly still hung up on Bob and is still really sad. They kind of held hands and Hop literally asked her out for dinner. And she was like, oh, sorry, busy. And then she goes home to eat alone. And I'm like, Joyce, baby, just go on a date with the man. Seriously, you're very obviously in love. I didn't know I needed Dad Hopper panic as much as I did. But this entire episode was just him freaking out over the Malevolent situation because they make out a lot and it's weird because I still think of them as like 12. So it's weird. But either way, it's awesome to see 11 out and about and doing cool things. Everyone was ignored Dustin when he came home and they're not as close of a friendship group anymore, which is not good. Jonathan and Nancy are still together, thank goodness, and they are both working for the Hawkins Post, but Nancy is like a coffee girl and Jonathan does photos. Mrs. Wheeler was gonna have an affair with Billy, but right at the end, Billy got like taken by the mind flayer, so that wasn't gonna happen. Rats were exploding and I don't know how to feel. Steve is great, but is real lost. We met Robin, who I like her already. She's so good. And we saw Erica as well, which is great. Did I miss anybody? I think that was everyone. I think that was everything that happened. 2 big takeaways were the Russians, which I got it right. I'm so happy I got that right. So the Russians and the Chopper scene. So so good.
So after episode 1, I did actually watch episode 2 immediately, and I had to finish the rest of it in the car on my phone. When I got home, I filmed my reaction to that episode.
Okay, so it's like 4 hours later, but I finished the second episode in the car, funnily enough, because we went and saw Spider-Man, so I had to finish the rest of the episode in the car on the way. Holy hell, okay, now I have all of the feelings. Oh, and Billy, my prediction came true when I said he'd kidnap the lifeguard. I was so right. And like, damn, those Russians are coming for Hawkins in full force, and I'm so here for it. Oh my god, Joyce and Hopper, like, guys, don't do that to me. Don't play with my little fragile heart like that. Like, just get them together, okay? Just have them be together, and then everybody will be happy. And okay, so like, I know that we saw Mr. Clark, and I love that, but like, he needed longer shorts. I was a little bit like, who is this gonna be? And then of course it was Clark, and I was like, this is great, but the man needs longer shorts. I love Robin. I just do. I'm in love with Robin and the partnership of her and Steve and Dustin. Like, it's amazing. The shopping montage was everything. Oh my goodness, I loved it so much. I want more. Steve's confusion with Elle, like when they were getting ice cream, and he's like, "You've been hard to be here," was amazing. He is such a mum. Elle and Max are like the cutest little couple. I mean, Elle needs more like girly friends. Mike needs to stop listening to Lucas because he's not great. But also Elle, like the way she dumped Mike was not great. That was really painful. And then poor Will, oh my god. And I completely forgot about the exploding rats. Like, what is going on with that? It's gross and I'm not a fan. Billy and Mrs. Wheeler just needs to stop and not be a thing. And I totally forgot about this until I was in the car, but like Bob in the first episode made me cry. I was like, I wasn't expecting this. So now I'm gonna watch episode 3 because I need to know what happens.
And then we had episodes 3 to 8, which I watched back to back. By the time I finished episode 8, though, it was like 5. I think it was like 4:30 in the morning. It was really, 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 really late. I just kind of kept getting more and more hysterical as the night went on, and I mean, you'll see.
Just wanted to show you guys how awesome the music is. Okay, so I just finished episode 3. So I have a couple things to say. Number one, like Joyce and Hopper, guys, can you just get together? And the fact that Joyce is thinking of moving out of Hawkins, not okay. Oh my god, the imagery in this season is freaking phenomenal. I am dying. It is so good. I'm loving it so much. It's so poetic and beautiful, and there's a lot of callbacks to the 80s. Like the thing with like Max and Elle on the back of the bike was so from E.T. I am in love with Robin. I love her so much. She cracked the code. There are literally Russians, like Russian spies. I assume that's who they are. They're literally at the Starcourt Mall, and it just makes me think, I'm like, well, maybe Mayor Klein had something to do with that. Did not guess what was going to happen with Billy and Heather. I mean, the fact that Billy could sense Elle, and then obviously he's literally the mind flayer, and he recognized her from when she closed the gate, and I'm just like dying. The fact that they're literally not kids anymore, and the whole thing with like the D&D group and Mike and everyone, oh my god, I was crying. I was so upset when Will was like destroying Castle Bias. I was like, you need to stop doing this. This is making me so sad, and I'm really gonna need them to stop attacking me with Bob's death like every 2 seconds because I'm not happy. Oh, and the guy on the motorbike, who the hell was that? And why did he attack Hopper the way that he did? Oh, but you really need to learn how to punch people. Like, my god, he was pathetic in that fight. And Nancy and Jonathan found Mrs. Driscoll and she was eating fertilizer. I'm just gonna go play episode 4 now because I'm not coping. I just finished episode 4. I keep forgetting to say it, but I hate the guy at the newspaper, the douchebag. Karen Wheeler did something good for a change, like that little pep talk with Nancy, but like Nancy and Jonathan broke up now. Nancy got fired, but like she's gone to see Mrs. Driscoll, and like she's a creep, and Billy is like officially the mind flayer, but there's so many of them. The mind flayer has literally become a hive mind, and Elle cannot defeat all of them, and like Joyce and Hopper are working together, but like they really screwed up with the mayor there. They really, really did. I don't know what is happening. I love Erica. I love Erica so much. The mind flayer is back, and I have to admit, like rewatching season 2 the other day when he like shoots out of the cabin, I sort of was like, but did he really go back behind the gate? No, I don't think that he did. So I sort of saw this coming, but and the green stuff from like the Russians, what is that? What is the green stuff? I'm gonna dive into chapter 5 now and see how I go, but holy mother of Mary, hell, that ending. And Elle literally nearly died. She like was being choked by Billy, which was not really there was a mind flayer, and I can't. I'm gonna watch episode 5 now. Okay, let's take it slowly. So Joyce and Hopper found the Russians, but like they couldn't find what they were building, and they also kidnapped this Russian guy, but obviously they don't speak Russian, so they're not really sure what they're gonna do. So they kind of stole this random guy's car, Todd. They ran into the motorcycle guy, and Hopper got his ass kicked again, and then they end up with Randy, like the reporter from last season, who can speak Russian, so we're gonna get some answers there. And then Dustin and Robin and Steve and Erica, they realized they were literally in the middle of like this Soviet Union secret base at the bottom of Starcourt. So the Russians bought Starcourt Mall. Well, they bought they're opening the gate. They are reopening the gate, which is so not cool. So that's a thing. The kids and Jonathan and Nancy, they have all come together because they've realized that the mind flayer is literally around, but he's like taken over a lot of people more than just, you know, before. A sweet little moment is the kids, like, they kind of all got back together, which is really cute and whatnot. And Jonathan and Nancy got back together, and Randy called Joyce and Hop out on their lovers quarrel, which is awesome. He's done that twice now. It was Tom and the blonde douchebag from the I want to say the Daily Bugle, but not the Daily Bugle, the Hawkins Post. And then like Nancy and Jonathan killed them, but they turned into mush, and they turned into this big monster, and the monster screamed, and then that was the end of the episode. But can I just say, in all the interviews, everyone was like, I think maybe one of them said gory. Like I remember the interview with Jimmy Fallon where I know Millie said spreading, which I completely understand now. Noah said sad, which I'm super not okay with. One of them said bigger. I think one of them might have said gory, which makes sense because this season is disgusting. Like when Tom and the blonde dude, like they literally just melted into this like red mush, and it was like, oh, it was disgusting, and I am just not okay. So here we go on episode 6. I'm also freezing, so now we have a blanket because it is 1:30 in the morning. Look, episode 6 is usually the episode where like shit goes down. The mind flayer just killed everybody that was like flayed apart from Billy, I'm pretty sure, and grew to a gross thing. Robin and Steve, I need them to get together by the end of the season because they are absolutely adorable, and they were literally like kidnapped by the Russians. Well, they weren't kidnapped, but they were caught by the Russians, and then they were interrogated by them, and that was awful. And then we had Dustin and Erica rescued them though, which was great. Oh my god, can someone give Joyce a medal this season for all of the amazing little like speeches that she gives, where she just like tells people how it is, and she's like, get off your ass and do something. Oh, I love her to pieces. She's amazing. I'm up to chapter 7, The Bite. It's like 2:30 in the morning. Is it 2:30? I don't know. I'm using my phone to light everything up. I'm just gonna watch it because I have to. I'm really cold though, so I have like 4 blankets on. We got Billy backstory, and it was heartbreaking, and I just wanted to cry. And the mind flayer is like building something for Elle, and it's like, we're doing this for you because you let us in and now you have to let us stay. And I'm like, no. I don't know, maybe 11 is dying by the end of the season, but then we wouldn't have a season 4, so I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. So by the time we got to episode 7, I was already pretty distraught. I was already pretty upset. It was really, really, really late. I just want to warn you guys before I put in the clips of episode 7 and episode 8. I just want to warn you and tell you, I was really tired, okay? By the time I finished episode 8, it was 4:30 in the morning, and I was a mess. Okay, so 11 got bitten in the leg because the mind flayer came to find everybody in the cabin, and it's apparently affecting her in some way, and Joyce and Hopper finally held hands on the Gravitron, but like I don't think that's gonna last very long. And Dustin and everyone got rescued, and everybody's about to be together, and I need to know how the Russians and the mind flayer connect. I need to know what they have. I need to know. It's 3:30 in the morning. I don't need sleep. I need answers. This has been a really weird, a really different style of season. I don't know. It's felt much bigger because of the fact that the Russians are in it. Like it feels like everything is at much bigger stake now that we know that that's happening. And it's also different, and it's also good. And I'm going to watch the final episode now. I don't know. Wish me luck. I just started the last episode. I got 2 things to say. Number 1, I totally forgot to mention, but like Robin's gay, and that's amazing. And I love it. But there is a scene happening right now where Joyce is telling Will to like listen to everything that Jonathan says, and like he's gonna be fine because he's gonna be away from Hawkins. I think they're sending them to like Murray's house or something, that they're totally never gonna get there. But this scene is making me think that Joyce is gonna die, and I'm not ready for that. I'm not okay. I can't have Joyce die. She can't die. She can't die.
I was a total mess. I watched the footage back and I was like cringing, but at the same time I was like, you know what? I feel this is a very raw and emotional reaction to what happened, because all these days later I'm still not okay, and I still need to talk about it.
Okay, we might have to do a little bit more of a wrap up tomorrow when I'm a little more emotionally stable. But the highlights: Battle of Starcourt was incredible. They used the fireworks on the Mind Player, which was, you know, a good idea. Finally, Murray and Joyce and Hopper went down to turn off the thingamabob, I guess. Okay, so Billy died. Billy's dead. He's really, really gone. And I didn't think that was going to upset me, but it did. I think mostly Max's reaction to it is what really upset me, but it still upset me, even though he was totally evil by the end of it. But by the very end of it, Elle managed to bring him back, so I wasn't as upset. But during that episode, it was very clear that either Hopper or Joyce was going to die, and I knew that it wasn't going to be Joyce. I really knew that, because I knew that if Hopper died, Joyce would take care of Elle. I think you can tell from this what happened. Which, on the bright side, it means my theory was correct. And on the not bright side, it means Hopper's probably dead. And I say probably because there was an end credit scene, well, like a mid-credit scene, which I wasn't expecting, set in Russia. And this is after, you know, the Mind Player is gone, and Joyce and Jonathan and Will and Elle are moving out of Hawkins. They're going somewhere else, and we go to Russia, and we hear the Russian guard say, no, not the American, but we don't see who it is, so pretty sure it's not Hopper, but, you know, a girl can dream. And so they take this Russian guy down to the basement, and a Demogorgon, like, feeds on him, whatever. So the Russians, after all that, succeeded in opening the gate. They're gonna try to weaponize the Demogorgon, I guess. 11 has no powers. She lost her powers, so they have no defense against it. This has been a really emotional roller coaster, and I'm really not okay. So I'm gonna go to bed because it's 5 a.m. I was planning on rewatching that season really, you know, soon, but I don't really think that's happening anymore. And I can see you guys shaking, and I'm not sure if it's because I'm cold or because I'm crying, but one way or another. That was the best season they've done, and I knew Hopper was gonna die. Doesn't make it any easier, but I knew it was gonna happen. Well, I had a theory that it was gonna happen, and unfortunately my theory turned out to be correct. So anyway, I will finish updating you guys tomorrow when I've had a moment to sleep and, you know, to really sort of gather my thoughts and control my emotions, because I'm a mess.
Yes, yes, that is the accurate representation of me immediately finishing episode 8. I started crying like at the beginning of the episode, and I just didn't stop. I literally didn't. It wasn't just like tears in my eyes. No. It was hiccuping, gulping sobs, because I refused to believe what had happened on screen. I was not okay. Obviously, as pointed out in my little reaction video there, I have some things to wrap up that I really needed to talk about, but couldn't because my brain wasn't coping. Let's approach this logically and hopefully not start crying again when we start talking about certain things. Okay, so the first thing that I really wanted to mention in episode 8 was the incredibleness of the beginning bit where everybody was together, and we had Joyce and Will saying their things to each other, but then we had Hopper and Elle, and they had their little father-daughter moment, and it was really adorable, and I loved it so much. And you really got to see in that moment just how much Hopper really loved his daughter, and I was like, praise, so happy. Back in my mind was like, oh no, this is not good. So from there we sort of keep going, you know, and we have all these awesome moments. We've got Joyce and Hopper and Murray. They are down below. They are trying to end this. Two different things. Murray has gone off to try to destroy this machine, and Joyce and Hopper have gone off to find the keys. They need Plank's constant in order to get the code, and unfortunately the code is wrong, which we will talk about in a second. The Scoops troop, which is Robin, Steve, Erica, and Dustin, who's kind of the important one, go up to Dustin's little radio tower that he made, which you had to know that radio tower was going to be useful at some point. So they go up there so they can direct everybody to where they need to be. And the rest of the kids, Jonathan and Nancy, are meant to be escaping in the car. Unfortunately, Billy has stolen the thing that makes the car go. I don't really know. And he is waiting for them there. He's very like road ragey, and you just kind of go, okay, we get the message. So head back into the mall. And yeah, those kids are in a lot of trouble until they manage to get a message to to Dustin and the rest of the Scoops Troops crew. Steve and Robin go and get them. They sort of crash into Billy. They get the cord thing that they need. They get everyone inside and they run off. The only ones who are not with them are Mike, Elle and Max. They are still stuck in the mall. However, the Mind Flayer is now chasing everybody else. So we're all good. And then we finally meet Susie. Susie's real. Dustin's girlfriend is real. And then she knows Planck's constant, but in order to tell Dustin, he has to sing for her. I have to admit, of everything they could have thrown at me this season, that was the one thing I was just really, really, really not expecting. To just have this Dustin and Susie moment where they're just like singing the never-ending story. I was like, what is this? So that was great. My reaction to that was pretty much what everyone else's reaction to that was. And I've rewatched it a couple times now, and you can see Joyce is like, got her head against the wall. Hop is just like, the fate of the world is resting on these goddamn children. Murray's just like, what? And everyone in the car is kind of like, not sure if we should be shocked that Susie's real or not sure that we should be shocked about what's happening. So that was a fun little moment. But then the adults, they get Planck's constant, but right before that, Joyce actually asks Hopper out on a date, which is adorable. My little dropper heart was so happy, but at the same time, my little dropper heart was like, you bitches, to the writers, because I knew exactly what was going to happen in that situation. So I was like, you pieces of yeah. So I was like playing with my emotions. Basically everything goes wrong because Billy finds Elle and he knocks out Max and Mike, which is really sad. And he takes Elle back to the Mind Flayer, who is like, I don't know what he's gonna do to her, but he's gonna do something and it doesn't look good. Until Elle does manage to sort of break through Billy's brainwashing, I guess, by talking about his mother and talking about all the things that she saw when she went into his mind, or whatever she did when she saw all his memories. And she does manage to get through to him and he does sacrifice himself for her, which hit me way more than what I was expecting. But what really hit me was down below, where once the Russian guy came in and started fighting Hopper, I was like, this is it. I was right. This is it. And they go out into the room and I'm like, boy, can we not? And then of course, when Hopper does manage to kill him and we get a barrier of electricity and all that happening, and then Joyce is like, turn the keys. Not a happy turn the keys. It was a very sad turn the keys. It was a very like, I don't want to do this, but okay. Hopper's gone. Hopper's dead. I sound like I'm over it. I swear I'm not over this. I really am not. Trying hard not to cry right now. This is a thing. Oh my goodness, it's a fictional show, yet it affects me so much. From there, it was really upsetting to see like Joyce having to tell Elba not having, it was like a non-verbal communication. I was just like, gone. 3 months later, the buyers are actually moving out of Hawkins, and that was really sad to see. Although once again, Lucas and Max were making fun of Dustin by singing the Neverending Story, which I thought was fantastic. Because Lucas, Max, and Dustin, the actress and like the actors who play them, I'm pretty sure the three of them met through Broadway because they were all on Broadway, I think. So that's sort of where that all came about. Anyway, from there, Joyce gives Elle this letter, the letter that Hop wrote earlier on in the season when he was trying to get through his feelings so he could talk to Mike and Elle about leaving the door open 3 inches and like not making out every 5 seconds, because I have to agree, it was weird. When the first scene of them was them making out, I was like, whoa, they are definitely not kids anymore. Don't know how to feel about this. This letter destroyed me. It really, really, really destroyed me. I was very upset. I'm still not entirely sure what the letter said because I was trying so hard. I only kind of heard every second word. That was a thing. And then the season ended. And I was like, cool. Except, number one, I was frozen to the screen. I was just like, I don't know how to process what I just saw. But I also saw like some snow falling and I went, all right, there's something else that's gonna happen here. If they've gone to the, there's never been anything over the credits before, like picture-wise. So I was like, there's gonna be something, it's gonna be something. And I remember sitting there just being like, don't you dare, Russia. Don't you dare make Hopper's sacrifice be in vain. Don't you dare. Oh, and Elle's, of course, because Elle also has lost her powers. Random. So I was sitting there, I was like, don't you dare let Elle and Hopper's sacrifice be in vain. I'm not okay. So we get to Russia in a prison. The guard is like, no, not the American, and everybody around the world who is a Stranger Things fan is like screaming at the computer, it has to be Hopper because we refuse to believe he's not dead. I have a different theory because I really want Hopper to be alive, but I don't want to get my hopes up, so I've got a little bit of a different theory which I'll talk about in a second. And then this other Russian guy, the prisoner, gets taken down and this little thing comes up and I'm still sitting there being like, don't you dare, don't you dare. And then out comes a demodog. Well, I thought it was a demodog, but turns out it was a demogorgon, and he like, I assume he eats the prisoner. We don't actually get to see the eating, but I assume that it happened. And then the episode properly ended and I was left sitting there like, What? That was eight hours of my life that I loved every second of, but damn, I'm upset. My theory about the American, I would like it to be Hopper. I would really like it to be Hopper. The only thing is, and I know there's quite a few reasons why people think this, because people are amazing overthinkers and I love every single one of them. I know one of the popular theories is the fact that the song Heroes is playing, and the last time the song Heroes played in the show was when they pulled Will's fake body out of the quarry, and so everyone's like, well, correlation, clearly if Will wasn't dead then Hopper's not dead either. And I do admit, I do agree, they're very clever with what they do and they wouldn't just do that by accident. They've picked that song for a particular reason. They put that line in for a particular reason because they wanted to give us all hope, and there is every possibility the Hopper is alive because they've done this before. The end of season 1, Elle, we thought she was dead, and then we see him put the Eggos in the little basket in the woods and we're like, maybe she's not dead. That is actually the reason why I think Hopper could be dead. I think that Elle is going to have to work through her grief, and I think that's one of the reasons why she doesn't have her powers, because she's just she's lost everyone. Well, she hasn't lost everyone. She's got Joyce and everybody, so she's got people, but in that particular situation she's lost her father basically, and it's very upsetting, and I think she's going to have to work through that grief in order to get her powers back. So I thought, what if the American that they're talking about is actually Dr. Brenner? Because we know that the Duffer Brothers earlier on, they sort of said, well, they sort of insinuated that Brenner was alive, because even though we see the Demogorgon like jump on him, they did sort of say we wouldn't give a character like that an off-screen death, which is another reason why Hopper could be alive, because we didn't actually properly see him die and we didn't see any remains. We didn't even see like a burned crisp or like meat. So the possibility is, yeah, they wouldn't give a character like that an off-screen death. If they wouldn't do it for Brenner, they wouldn't do it for Hopper. But I think Brenner is alive, and I think there is a possibility that Brenner is in Russia being held in this prison, because like, how did the Russians find out about the Upside Down in the first place if not from Brenner? I think it's more likely that if Hopper is alive, he probably did jump into the gate and he's probably stuck in the Upside Down, which is really not good. But of course there is probably the gate on the other side with the Russians, which he can probably get out through. So potentially Hopper is still alive, but I'm not going to raise up my hopes until I see some sort of confirmation or I see season 4, because otherwise my little heart won't be able to handle it. Some things I do want to talk about really quickly though is a lot of my theories turn out to be correct. So I theorized that the Russians were going to have much more to do this season, and I was correct. I predicted that Billy was going to become the Mind Flayer. I was also correct, and I predicted Hopper was going to die. So I'm pretty happy about that. Well, I'm not happy that Hopper died, but I'm happy that I predicted it. No, you know what? In this case, I would have preferred to be wrong. So there you go. That was Stranger Things season 3. That was my discussion video for it. My review is just 5 out of 5 stars. The cinematography in this season was absolutely incredible. There was stunning imagery. The acting was incredible. The storyline, everything was bigger and better, and I just loved every second of it. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below what you thought of Stranger Things season 3, because I would absolutely love to know. Let me know your theories for season 4 and what you want to see, because once again, I need to talk about this with someone. If you like this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Stay random. Bye.